Like most programs, Dreamweaver also includes a list of menu items across the top of the screen. And most of the menu options are included in the panels or property inspectors or other options. So, for example, we saw the Page Properties dialog is available from the Modify menu, as well as down here by simply clicking Page Properties in the Properties Inspector. By the way, if you don't see this part of the Properties Inspector, this little arrow here in the bottom corner is what opens and closes that. If the arrow doesn't come back, click to select something that does use those options, and you should be able to open it again. Under the File menu, you'll find some options specific to web design and Dreamweaver, such as the Preview in a Browser option, which of course is also available from this icon here in the middle of the screen. You can also validate the markup and check the page for browser compatibility. These are very handy testing tools we'll look at in a later chapter. And again, many of those tools are also available up here. So you'll find most of the options available under menus also have other shortcut locations. So this is for checking the page. These are your validate options. This collection of options is very useful to know about. These are the visual aids. And you can find these under the View menu, but you can also easily get to them here. Visual aids are what do things like create these little dotted line boxes around the div tags that I've used on this page. So if I get rid of the CSS layout outlines by selecting and deselecting that option, you see those boxes disappear. I find those visual aids incredibly helpful while I'm working. So I tend to keep those on all the time I'm working in Dreamweaver. But you can always turn on or off just the ones you need. And you can always hide all of them and bring them all back. And there's a nice key command here, Control-Shift-I, so that you can remove all of them, see better what your design looks like, and then put them all back at once. Another view option, similarly, you'll see under the View menu, you also have, in addition to these visual aids that we were just looking at, you have some options like rulers and grid and guides. Again, you can get to those up here as well as from that menu. So if you like having a ruler at the top of the screen, you can make that visible. If you prefer to have a grid on the screen, you can use that for layout assistance. Or again, you can turn those off as you see fit. Guides, by the way, work much like they do if you're familiar with Photoshop. You can click and drag from the ruler and bring guides into the page. Very handy for lining things up and making sure that your elements appear the way you want them to. Drag them to the edge of the screen, and again, much like Photoshop, they disappear. One other very important collection of tools in the menu is under the Window menu option. This is where you can open and close many other tools in the program. So these panels over here on the right are all available from this Windows menu. And even more than just the panels here, there are many others if you're working with databases, if you want to bring up the History panel, for example. When you select it there, it automatically opens in this panel collection. And again, just as you saw earlier, you can click and drag and have these float, and you can close them again by simply selecting them again from the Window menu.